Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer and welcome to Best Kept Plans. Today I thought it would be fun to take you all through a breakdown of my budget categories that I use when I'm budgeting every single paycheck. If you are interested in seeing how I break down my budget, please stick around. So I have had a couple of requests here on YouTube and on Instagram to talk about how I determine what goes into each one of my budgeting categories, and I finally got around to filming this video. I was asked about it quite a while ago, and I just haven't had time to kind of put this video together, but I have time now. So in my current budget by Paycheck Workbook, I do have a sheet here with a breakdown of my budget categories. Now this worksheet is actually a free printable from the Budget Mom. It is in her free resource library, and it's a great way to be able to break down your different budget categories. So I'm going to zoom on in so that you all can see exactly what I have written on here, and we'll kind of start from the top and work our way down. The first two rows here are actually my sinking funds, and so I thought I'd go into a little bit more detail of what exactly is included in each one of my sinking funds. So my first is my travel sinking fund. This is a new sinking fund for me for 2022, and its use, or the way that I'm intending on using it, is for any type of travel expense, whether it be a small weekend trip or a larger vacation. So this could go towards purchasing airfare, could go towards purchasing or booking a hotel. You know, I go to Disney a lot, so it could go towards purchasing park tickets for Disney. It could just be used for spending while I'm on vacation. So really, I'm kind of just leaving it very broad and open, just putting money every single paycheck into this travel sinking fund. And then when I decide to go on my next vacation, I can use that money as I see fit. Next, I do have my Christmas sinking fund, and I don't purchase a lot of Christmas gifts for a lot of people. I really just focus my Christmas sinking fund on my mom, my dad, and my sister. I do always have in mind that gifts for others do pop up. And so I always have a little bit of like an unexpected or a miscellaneous spending budget for my Christmas spending. It actually came in really handy during 2021 Christmas season. I actually was under budget for my mom and my sister by quite a bit. And thank gosh I was, because the money that I had allotted for my miscellaneous spending for Christmas, I definitely went over. We did Secret Santa at work, so I purchased a Secret Santa gift. I ended up getting one of my grandmothers something. We did adopt a family at work, so I had to buy a gift for that. So those three things added up and ended up being a little bit more than I was anticipating. That might be something I have to look at for 2022 in terms of how I allot my money, but that's what I kind of plan for with regards to my Christmas sinking fund. For subscriptions, it's very straightforward. There are three subscriptions that I have that I pay annually. They're Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, and Hulu. I do save a little bit each paycheck in order to have those full amounts saved by the time I have to renew my membership. So for Amazon Prime, that's in September. For Disney Plus, that is in November, and then Hulu, I believe, is in August. Medical. So my medical sinking fund really is meant to be used for anything medically based. So if that's copays for appointments, I wrote subscriptions here. It should be prescriptions. I don't have any medical subscriptions, so that's meant to be prescriptions. Whoops, that was an error. And then primarily, or what I tend to spend most of my medical sinking fund on, is glasses. I do wear glasses. I purchase a new frame and lens every year, usually. And so that comes out of there. Next, we have my car maintenance sinking fund, and that's pretty much what it sounds like, right? It's just for car maintenance. So oil changes, if I need new tires, regular maintenance, if I need new brakes, like things like that. I wouldn't pull out of this envelope for stuff like car washes, or if I wanted an air freshener for my car or something like that, I wouldn't pull it out of here. But other things more specific, like very specific to actually maintaining my vehicle, like bigger things, I would pull from this fund. Another thing too would be like if I got into a car accident and I needed repairs and I had to pay my deductible, I'd probably pull it from here as well. For birthdays, it actually looks exactly like Christmas does. I don't purchase a lot of birthday gifts. I primarily purchase for my mother, my father, and my sister Jillian. I do a certain amount of money for like unexpected birthday gifts that I might have to purchase throughout the year, but I will say in 2021, no unexpected birthday gift ended up popping up. For holidays, this is also a new envelope for me for 2022. And the reason why I decided to add this envelope is because during Mother's Day and Father's Day 2021, I felt like it would have just been so much easier for me to have a sinking fund to pull from instead of having to cash flow it. So I created this holidays envelope. That is where I'm going to pull my Mother's Day and Father's Day gifts from, and then also any type of holiday decor that I would want to purchase. Also like candy for Halloween, stuff like that. I don't currently own a home, and so I really don't buy much holiday decor, but it certainly could be used in that way if I found something that I really liked. But I do often buy like Halloween candy, and so definitely pull that from that envelope too. I also created this car insurance and tax envelope. It used to be combined with my car maintenance envelope, but I felt like it would just be easier for it to be separated. I pay my car insurance in July and my car taxes in July. I just pay them annually now, and so I save throughout the year to be able to do that. Next, we're going to go into my miscellaneous. No, I'm sorry, that's a lie. My variable expenses. So this whole middle row here is the variable expenses that I have listed in the envelope section of my paycheck budget trackers. These three here, I do spend in cash. Groceries, I do not, and there's a very specific reason for that. Ever since the pandemic started, I have really been taking advantage of or utilizing grocery pickup. And so I order my groceries online. An employee at the grocery store gets those for me, and then they bring them out to my vehicle. So I have to be able to pay for my groceries online. So it really doesn't make sense for me to pull this out in cash. So it is a separate checking account that I have with my bank. So every time I get paid, I pull my $200 because that's how much I budget for groceries, and I transfer it into that separate checking account. So I always know exactly how much I have in my grocery budget. In my grocery budget is obviously food, but I also include household items in here as well. So if I needed like soap or, dishwashing detergent or soap or whatever. If I needed dryer sheets, if I needed toilet paper, like things like that, I would pull from here. Vitamins, I would pull from here. I don't own a home currently, and so I don't feel like I need a separate household category. Maybe when I do purchase a home, I'm going to want to separate those two, but for now, it works just having it all in my groceries budget. Eating out is any eating out that I decide to do. That could be fast food, which I don't even remember the last time I ate fast food. I try to be good about that. If I'm purchasing a coffee or tea, if I'm going to a restaurant, anything like that comes from my eating out budget. Gas, I obviously didn't put anything in this box because I figure that's pretty self-explanatory. That is gas for my vehicle. Miscellaneous. So this miscellaneous category that I have a cash envelope for strictly encompasses the spending that I do from that cash envelope. So I always pull out $200. Well, it was $200 in 2021. For 2022, it's $150. I put it in a cash envelope, and I can spend that however I'd like. I have an issue with this category, or at least I did in 2021, where I overspent a lot. And so if I overspent or if I went over budget and I had no more cash left in an envelope, I would pull it from my checking account cushion. So if you look back at my monthly budget recaps and you say, like, and you see my Where Did My Money Go worksheet, and you're like, well, she's, Jennifer's saying that this is just spending from her cash envelopes, and she puts, she was putting $200 a pay period in there, but she spent $700 that month. Where the heck did that extra money come from? It came from my checking account cushion. That is different than my miscellaneous bills. So my miscellaneous bills category is one that I created not that long ago, I think fall of 2021, because my miscellaneous spending category always seemed like it was so out of control. But when I would really look at it and look at the cash spending I was doing out of my cash envelopes versus like other random stuff that popped up, there was a true differentiation there. So my miscellaneous bills category is for known upcoming expenses that don't fit into any other category. So something that I'm not saving for in a sinking fund, and something that doesn't apply to groceries or eating out, or I don't pull from a cash envelope. It's not a utility. So some examples of that, or things that I have actually classified as miscellaneous bills. No, let's see. So I purchased a VDS unexpectedly. It was a TM Stardust Croco. I purchased it unexpectedly, but it didn't kind of fit into any of my other budget categories, so I considered it a miscellaneous bill. We ended up having some yard work done, a big fall cleanup done, and that didn't fit into any of my other budgeting categories, and so I considered it a miscellaneous bill to have that fall cleanup, that landscaping done. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Others are not popping up off the top of my head, unfortunately. Example, so something that I haven't actually done, but maybe one day might. Let's say I want to go to see a Broadway show and I need to buy tickets to see that Broadway show. That I would include in this category. If I'm doing a giveaway for Best Kept Plans on Instagram, here on YouTube, and I need to set aside funds for that giveaway, that would be a miscellaneous bill. So those are different things that could potentially be included in my miscellaneous bills category. Oh, another one was in December. One of my overspending things in December was that I ended up purchasing AirPods for myself. And that was kind of like my Christmas gift to myself. And so, and it didn't fit into any other category. I wasn't going to use my Christmas sinking fund for it. So it was considered a miscellaneous bill. Next, I have my savings category, and this includes, I say house savings because that's really like my number one savings goal right now, is putting everything I have after my bills, my variable expenses, my sinking funds to my house savings. But really what that should say is just any leftover funds after, paying my bills, my variable expenses, my sinking funds. That goes into a savings account that I have at my bank. Also included in this are the 2022 savings challenges, the $5 challenge, and any money I roll into my emergency fund. For utilities, no, I don't own a home, but I do pay some of the utilities, not like electric or water or heat or that type of utility. Obviously, one day when I own a home, I will. But more so right now, my utilities are my Spotify, my Netflix, because I don't pay those annually, so they're not in a sinking fund. I do pay for Optimum, which is phone, internet, and cable, and then my Verizon, which is my cell phone bill. So those are what I consider my utilities right now. Once I own a home, this category is going to look a little different, because then it would include my electricity, my water bill, heating bill for the winter, cooling, which, might pop into electricity depending on how you have a cooling system, all of that. For housing, it's just my rent. That's all that's in my housing category. And then for giving, I do always allot $20 a month to give to my church. And then any other givings opportunities that pop up would obviously go into this category. I try to somewhat regularly donate to food banks, especially since COVID. One thing I will say is that I haven't been I haven't been very good at remembering to classify that as giving. Most of the time when I do that, I don't know what I'm thinking, but in the moment I'm like, oh, it doesn't fall into a category. Like I so strongly associate giving with donating to my church that like I forget it's other giving too. And so a lot of times I put that under my miscellaneous bills, and that's something that I really want to get better at in 2022 is like, no, that's still giving. Put it under this category, because I think at the end of the year, it just gives me a better idea. You know, that's money well spent, versus sometimes this miscellaneous bills here is not money well spent. Adopt a family. I do participate in that usually during the holiday time, and then like online organizations that I could potentially give to. I did donate to United We Dream not that long ago. Again, put it under a miscellaneous bill, but that is an organization I do love to support, and definitely check them out if you don't know about them. So yeah, that's a bit of a breakdown of my current budget categories. You know, obviously my budget categories look the way that they do because they're incredibly dependent and specific to my current situation. I am a single person. I do not own my own home. And so my budget categories reflect that I'm at that point in my life. Once I purchase a home, these are probably going to look a little different. You know what I mean? Some of these things might change. So, you know, these are what works for me and how I break down my budget categories, but this is a very person and family specific. And so everybody's budget categories are likely going to look a little bit different. And even though two people might have a utilities category, what they include in there might be totally different. You know what I mean? So, again, super specific to each person and their circumstance and their situation. But I thought it would be fun to share how I break down my budget categories for myself. If you have any questions or comments about this video, please do not hesitate to put them down below. And as always, everyone, please be safe. Bye-bye.